Hi there, I'm Stevie Fernandez.
And I'm Trish Whitmer. We're happy to have you back with us to start a new month of Explore Tulsa. Why do you keep looking at your watch, Stevie?
Well, all this talk about gaining an hour's sleep, I don't get it. Because now I have to either stay up until 2 or set my alarm to wake me up so I can set my clock back an hour at 2.
Well, I'm pretty sure your Apple Watch and phone will set themselves.
Wouldn't that be nice? My watch has to be right so I don't miss my bike ride.
Well, it sounds like you have the same cycling spirit as Hannah Jordan.
Well, she's my inspiration, taking on what slows her down and turning it into an amazing story as she rides her way into everyone's heart.
It takes a lot of resilience and a lot of willpower because you're not always going to become in first place because there's 50 other people that want that same first thing, but it's about getting up and keep doing it over and over again, and you do it because you love it. So I have an unknown rare metabolic disease, and so it affects everybody different. And so I've been on my feeding tube for about 10 years. And I got, it all started from birth really. In 2 years I've had 27 hospital visits. I was a Make-A-Wish kid, my heart was enlarged, my lungs kept collapsing, my gut was shutting down, basically everything. I have this thing called Kate Farms, and so it's basically, it's a superfood drink. And so it has like 29 superfoods in it, and it's going 24/7. Through me. It helps me basically maintain my blood sugars. So in the past I've ranged as low as 9 and over 600, and so it basically keeps it stabilized. 2.5 years ago I did 2 indoor sprint triathlons, and I wasn't really great at them, and you know, you have to be able to swim, and so it's not waterproof, and so I'd have to take it off and get counted as part of my transition. And I really just fell in love with the bike, and that was my favorite thing about it, and just started from there. My favorite race that was one of my top ones would have to be like Tulsa Tough, and I took 3rd in that, and it's a pretty big race, and so it's like a 3-4-5 field. I've taken 1st in a lot of my races, but that one was just a lot more memorable because of, you know, the crowds and everybody's cheering you on, and it's like an atmosphere, I guess you could say. Like, I love to race and I love to ride, but I love just being around people, and so that's what made it such a great race. Usually I race women, and it's a lot more competitive of a field. You're going against literally everybody out there, and like the minimum fields is like, in Oklahoma it's sort of tiny field, but it's like 10, and then it goes all the way up to, I've had a field of 77 women. So last year I did 58 races in 7 different states, and we went to Tennessee, Chicago, Texas, Arkansas, Missouri, just kind of everywhere. It's really cool to get those great opportunities, and I'd never take any of them for granted, nor my sponsors. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like I'm just living my life, and you know, even if I never got all those interviews or nobody knew my name, I'd still do cycling because I loved it. And it's super cool, but at the same point, it's like, it doesn't make me who I am. Sometimes I'll race the guys, and I had a 30-second breakaway on this pack, and none of the women showed up to this one race. And it was so funny just watching all their faces as I passed them, just slightly crushing their ego little by little. It's just funny because it's like, how does it feel to get beat by a 16-year-old girl kind of thing? Not that I'd, you know, be like that to their face, but it's cool to be able to do that. My long-term goals is to bring back the Tour de France, but for a 5-year goal, I'd definitely say to be in the Olympics for maybe Tokyo or Paris. That's coming up pretty soon. So like one thing that's helped me just being a cyclist in general is actually from my past, and life is about being resilient. It's a longevity thing, and people think it's like a sprint. It's not a sprint, because I used to think of it like that, you know, if I just get to this one point, then I can take a break. There's no rest for the weary in the game of life, and It's kind of like a chess match. I mean, you got to make your moves wisely, but also have fun while you're playing the game.